Okay, we're going to get started with our webinar today. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is the Southern Piedmont Climate-Smart Farmers Market Informational Webinar. I'm going to go over a little bit of housekeeping details. Alfonso, if you don't mind advancing. If you're having trouble hearing me, if it's not audible, please click the audio settings on your screen. There's going to be a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. Please use the Q&A button on your screen to send questions. It's just a little bit easier for us if it's all directed into the Q&A instead of going through the chat. For all other problems, you can call Justin Barclay. He's our education manager at Rodale at that phone number. A recording of this presentation will be posted later on the Climate Smart website at Rodale in case you want to share it with friends or anyone else, or you just want to watch it again. Go ahead. So we'll go through a what to expect, and I do have it one by one. Sorry, Alfonso. We're going to talk about who the Southern Piedmont Climate-Smart Partners are. Then why is the USDA investing $25 million in this project? We'll discuss the project design, what you will help us answer with the project, what Farm to Facts is. I do a demo of Farm to Facts. What you will do for the project as a market manager and participating in the project and or even a vendor that vends at a market. The incentives provided for participating, support for those enrolled in Farm to Facts, how to enroll in this particular project, and then questions at the end. These are our partners. We have 12 partners across the Southeast and Midwest who are participating in this project funded by the USDA Partnerships for Climate Smart Commodities grant program. So the USDA has funded us by $25 million. There are over 100 projects that are being funded in a total funding pool of $3.1 billion. For this particular project, it's $25 million. So we're just going to kind of go over a little bit of why is the USDA spending so much money on what they're calling climate smart projects, which is essentially a sustainable farming. So climate change is increasing the greenhouse gases. Because of increasing greenhouse gases, we are having climate change. I'm sure you've all heard of this increase in greenhouse gases over the years. And maybe you feel like, well, what can I do about that? Well, it turns out that the EPA has estimated that 11.2% of the total U.S. greenhouse gas emissions in 2020 were produced by agriculture. And so that is a large percentage of greenhouse gases that we have control over. And in large part, that is being done because of poor farming practices. And yes, there will be a copy of this presentation at the end that will be linked to the website. And so these greenhouse gases, what they're doing is increasing the temperature of the planet. And how that's impacting us in the Southeast is we are having more and more days of above 86 degrees. And you can see on the map on the left, that's what you were used to up until about 2009, what we were experiencing in terms of number of days above 86 degrees. But by 2070, we're expecting that number to really significantly increase. We are expecting about 32 to 58 more days above 86 degrees in the region. And the reason this is important is because 86 degrees tends to be the threshold that starts impacting photosynthesis. And then therefore crop productivity, crop yield, and just overall health of the plants. So the more we have that increase in temperature, the more the crops you're growing today are not going to be suitable for the region. And as you can see, in conjunction with that, the map on the left is what we're used to seeing as of 2009 in terms of the plant hardiness zones in the Southeast. And you can see that those zones are shifting north. So the more we have more days that are 89 degrees or above, the more that zone will shift up north. And now suddenly the zone 9 that is thought to be a central Florida zone, all of the southern coastal plain is going to be exposed to a zone 9. And that doesn't happen linearly. It happens over the years in kind of an erratic fashion, impacting the weather patterns. So the impacts on your regional weather are, we start having more markedly different weather patterns from one year to the next, which we are all seeing that. We've seen where, some years it's a downpour of rain all summer long, and then some years it's super dry, and it just seems erratic, and like you can't figure out what's happening with the weather patterns. Increasing average annual temperature, again, that increasing 86-degree number of days of 86 degrees. It increases heat stress and soil moisture loss. More extreme hot days, again, causing all of these problems with changing really what is the climate that you can grow the crops that you grow in today. Less freezing nights. Our freeze-free season has increased already by 1.5 weeks. And so the more these changes happen, the longer that freeze-free season is going to increase. And that impacts things like blueberry bushes and peach trees and other crops that are dependent on either a freeze in the winter in order to flourish in the spring, or because these freeze-free zones are changing, the season is changing. Sometimes the flowering season the plants think it's warm and it's now time to flower, and then we get a mid to late frost, and that impacts our crops. Changing rainfall patterns, we've been seeing extreme rain events followed by dry periods, and that's just going to become more and more common. So this can impact your vendors and therefore your markets. And the way that it does that is through higher than normal max temperatures in July and August have led to a decrease in crop productivity. So changing the overall amount that a farmer can sell. Drier summers and wetter falls stress crops and reduce yields. On-farm flooding and drought events have become more common, making it challenging for your vendors to understand, how to crop plan and really think through how they're going to be able to get the most out of the land that they're producing in. And then the ability to grow the same varieties is changing, making just even the overall produce that are being sold at the market change over time. And then, of course, the reduced freeze season also impacts flowering timing, as I mentioned before, causing crop failures. And it influences pest pressure. So if it is not getting freezing here, for the length of time and the depth that it used to, then that's allowing pests coming from the south to migrate up north, changing the pest pressure that we're going to have here in the southeast. And all of this is impacted even more by higher greenhouse gas emissions, and it becomes more intense the more those emissions increase. So you can help with this by helping us. So part of the way you can help this project is helping growers be able to grow in a way that reduces greenhouse gases. And they can do that if they can therefore market their products at a value-added cost. And so one way you can do this is to help us verify and improve Farm to Facts ecosystem services tool to help farmers farm more sustainably and market the value-added produce. You can help us implement a marketing strategy that will assess best techniques to increase consumer buy-in to the value-added sustainable products. You can help by generate recommendations to the USDA on ways to expand markets for value-added sustainable produce. Because as we know, if you can grow it, but if you can't get your money and your value out of it, it's not going to work. And so being able to add to increase the markets for these vendors is essential. And then you'll have an opportunity to interact with diverse groups of people with interests in sustainable agriculture and production. So researchers, farmers, other farmers market managers, and the agricultural industry and policymakers. They're all going to be part of this project. And so you'll have opportunities throughout the project to be able to interact with those people. And then, of course, you're going to get paid. There are incentives. And so, we're gonna give you the value that you give to us by providing you some money. This is the project design. So the green boundary is the Southern Piedmont area in the southeast. And we are going to be looking for 25 farmers markets throughout the southeast region to join this project and to help us with this research.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then what will you help us answer? You're doing a great job, Alfonso. You're going to help us develop and expand markets for climate smart commodities in the Southeast. So for sustainable produce. You're going to help us answer, can Farm to Facts ecosystem services tool be used to assess how sustainable a Southern Piedmont farmer's operation is? What marketing strategies are most effective in influencing consumers in purchasing value-added climate-smart commodities? And what recommendations can we provide to the USDA on how to influence consumer decision-making toward the purchase of value-added climate-smart commodities? These are the things you're going to help us with. And now Alfonso is going to step in and talk about Farm to Facts, because that is a big piece of our marketing strategy for this project.
Thank you very much, Christy. And yes, indeed, the time is now, right? The time is now, and to work together to develop and implement strategies to support local and regional food producers in adopting climate smart practices, in helping farmers market managers understand and communicate the benefits of those practices to their stakeholders, and to help consumers understand the benefits of those practices. So Farm to Facts is a data collection toolkit that we created here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison about 10 years ago using USDA funding. It's a membership organization that currently works with farmers markets around the country in a variety of places. You feel free to ask me about it. And the point of Farm to Facts is to flip the research relationship around. Typically, the researcher is the boss and people are the subjects and supporters. Farm to Facts says the farmer's market manager is the boss of their market. They're the expert in their context. They understand what's going on in their market. The farmer is the boss of their operation, and our job at the university, the entire team of professors and graduate students and undergraduate students, is dedicated to supporting you in collecting data, in analyzing it, and in reporting to your various stakeholders about the benefits of your market. So we provide the data collection instructions and protect the data, and our computers do the analysis that you tell them, that you ask for. Whatever analysis you want, you ask for it from all the metrics associated with the FMPP or LFPP grant applications. Now, for this project, of course, we have much more direct goals, and so we will be addressing those. However, you should know that since USDA funded it, it is responsive to larger USDA activities. So farmers market managers and farmers market organizations give themselves, us here at the university and Rodale, permission to analyze the data by signing a simple terms and conditions. We can talk about that. farmers market managers and farmers market organizations collect data from the data you collect from your farmers and vendors is anonymous, and it's aggregated at the level of the market. So the farmers market manager can then do various sorts of analyses of their data. Additionally, farmers market organizations that have 10 markets in them, for instance, we worked with the Michigan Farmers Market Association. I believe they had 17 markets, and the Michigan Farmers Market Association could do analyses of all 17 markets. So it's kind of a hierarchy. But then whenever you've got the data collected, the market manager or the market organization or Rodale can analyze that data by selecting metrics for one or more variable from the market level, or comparing data across the markets as is needed. And then they ask the software to run the numbers, and you can make infographics that then you can put up, you can give to your stakeholders, you can send to your local media. There's a variety of marketing approaches that we will develop and share with you in order to maximize the impact of the benefits that your market has in the community. So we support, Farm to Facts supports members of the organization, markets and market organizations, in a variety of ways. Let's see if this video works.
Facts.org. As I mentioned, Farm to Facts works in 3 steps.
Hold on a second. Let's see. It's about 10 minutes long.
My name is Chloe Green, and I work with marketing and communications at Farm to Facts. Farm to Facts is a data collection toolkit for farmers market managers. We work with individual farmers markets and market organizations, and you can find us at farmtofacts.org. So this is what the front of our website looks like. You can sign up for our listserv or take a look at some of the things we'll be talking about today, such as the different impacts that we measure, the steps to our data collection process, what our customers say, and more. You can always contact us at info@farmtofacts.org at any time to get answers from our customer service team. Up here, you can see more of this information, such as how our methods work, frequently asked questions, and more about contacting us. If you chose to become a member of Farm to Facts, you could simply go here to log into your account. You could also visit account.farmtofacts.org. As I mentioned, Farm to Facts works in 3 steps. The first is selecting your metrics. We have over 25 metrics that help to measure social, economic, and ecological impacts. When you sign up as a member, a customer service team member will help you decide what metrics are best to tell your market story. In step 2, you'll see how we collect this data. Each of our metrics fall into one of our 9 instruments, and we have detailed instructions and worksheets for how you'll collect this data. Our team has over 30 years of market experience, and we've been working on research specifically for Farm to Facts for over 5 years. The third step is communicate findings. So after you put into the work to collect data over your market season, you'll then see the benefit through different ways of analyzing your data. In this first tool, you'll be able to see quantitatively some statistics that you can use in things such as your annual reports or your grants. In report findings, you'll be able to create visual representations of your data to show your stakeholders or simply advertise your farmers market in your community. So let's dive in. The first thing you'll do when you sign up for Farm to Facts is create a profile. It should take you about 30 minutes and asks you information that you likely know about your market. In future years, if you continue to use Farm to Facts, you'll be able to just duplicate your profile and simply update information for your current year rather than having to create completely new profiles. The first step of the process is selecting metrics. So you'll see here that we have every market collect these 4 metrics. The first is the average distance in miles traveled. which basically means food miles. So this can be an ecological impact. The second is how much land your market vendors take up, which can also be an ecological impact. The third is your number of visitors, which is social. And your fourth is your total market sales, which falls into the economics. Then you'll see the rest of our metrics stratified by the instrument that they fall under. So for vendor application, which is only done once at the beginning of the market season, you'll see that it has 2 of the metrics that we require. So everyone does a vendor application. Then you'll be able to select which of the metrics you'd like to use in addition, if any. If you choose something like this and you see a plus sign, you can see all the sub-metrics that fall under that. So if you decide to use number of individuals employed by market business, then you'll also get information from our toolkit about individuals employed in each of these sectors. The visitor count and visitor survey are done only 4 times throughout the market season. This is because they require a little bit of extra work and volunteer support. The 4 days are your 3rd market day, your 3rd to last market day, a busy day, and an average day. You'll see that for visitor survey, none of these are required. So if your market is of lower capacity, you could just not do the visitor survey. The vendor sales slip and central terminal sales are done at every market to increase reliability of data. You'll see that we also have information here about incentive programs such as SNAP, and we also have information about WIC, Senior FMMP, and any other incentive program that your market might uniquely use. For vendor attendance, we also do this every day. And for volunteers and market programs, you would do those whenever those occur at your market. So you can simply press submit metrics when you're ready. And then it'll take you to this page where you can see your instructions for each of the instruments for which you selected metrics under, and also your worksheets. We default to paper worksheets because we know not all markets have reliable access to internet. However, if you'd like to do your vendor application online, whether that be in person and handing them an iPad or something like that, or sending your vendors a link so that they can sign up on their own computer, or for visitor survey, you can also use these online things. But of course, you can use the paper worksheets as well if you prefer. To get to this page throughout the season, you can also just go directly to download documents. We are now going to move into the second step, which is collect data. So we're going to take a look at the vendor application. You'll see here that you can either go to our vendor application form, which looks like this, or you can go and copy the link to your clipboard so that you can send that out to your vendors. You can, if you do that, your information will automatically populate down here with the data, or you can also download a CSV, fill in the template as it looks on your paper worksheet, re-upload it, and it will also populate down here. You'll then be able to edit data directly in here, or you can edit your CSV, re-upload it, and then it would append any previous entries that you had, or add any new ones that you've added to the CSV since your last upload. Our other instruments look similar to this, except that, as you'll remember, the only other one that has an online form is the visitor survey. So now we'll move on to our final step, which is communicate findings. First option is to analyze data. So you can go in here and we'll look at Alpaca Farmers Market and Wisconsin Rapids Farmers Market here in Wisconsin. So, and we want to look at the average number of visitors per day and the percent of customers who were first-time visitors, and run analysis. You'll see here that we can see by market, their average number of visitors, their percent of first-time visitors, and then these averaged together. So this is useful if you're a market organization so that you can look at all of your markets. If you're an individual market, you would just have the first line so that you can look at your own data. And again, people use this information for grant applications, annual reports, and any other usage to which the market would find important. The second way of looking at your data is communicate findings, and we can do this visually. So again, we can look at this market, and then you have an option to choose 2, 4, or 6 infographics. For now, we're going to choose 2. And then you can search what metric you'd like to talk about. So we're going to do that % of customers who are first-time visitors. And then you'll see that 2 interpretive statements are generated. The first is a simple reiteration of that data that you collected. The second is more about why is this data important? So we've had people on our Farm to Facts team create these based on what their expertise was. And then you have an icon automatically selected for each metric. However, if you'd like to change it, you can always go down here and choose a different one to your liking. You would repeat this for infographics 2 through 4, and then you could create your header and footer with these suggested titles. Then all you would do is click Generate Report, and you would get something that looks like this. Here's a market that we worked with one summer, and you can see here that they used the shorter statements and included information such as the days and times of their market and their Facebook. This is a separate market that we worked with for 3 years. So here, instead of just having information for one market, they have the averages over 3 years. They also have used the longer statements. So those are our 3 steps. If you have more questions about Farm to Facts and what we do, we encourage you to reach out to us at info@farmtofacts.org so we can either schedule a personalized demo or answer any of your questions that you may have. Thanks for listening and have an impactful day.
Okay, so that was Chloe Green, and she is now doing her master's in public health at Johns Hopkins.
Hello, my name is Chloe
sorry
Green,
about that.
and I work.
Gotta get off of that. Okay, yeah, gotta get off of that. So, and the examples you saw there have produced about $1 million plus in new grant dollars for farmers markets here in Wisconsin. Last year, we just got $750,000 to develop a statewide organization. So it's useful so the data can be empowering for larger groups as well as individual markets in their particular circumstances. So in these slides, should have started with this, but FM, farmers market, FMM, manager, and FMO. So what do we hope for? We need your support. You all are the principal investigators. Without your work, we can't learn anything. Together, we can learn a lot. So market managers, we need your support in collecting data, and we have a lot of modalities for doing this. We can support you in a variety of ways. And we also need you to participate in the marketing component of the program so that we can try and increase sales of climate-smart commodities throughout the regions you work in. The farmers market organizations and Rodale, and as well as the university, we will support data collection in various ways, and other project partners will support data collection in various ways. And we need your criticisms to develop a new version of Farm to Facts. We are going to invest money to create Farm to Facts 2.0, which will be hopefully even easier for market managers to use, more inclusive of a variety of kinds of information that they need in their different cities or towns that they work in. And our hope is that we will be even more impactful through working with and receiving your criticisms and changing the software to support you. Incentives. Christy mentioned incentives. Yes, there are incentives. So earlier this morning, there was a webinar for farmers, and farmers were told about the $50 per year that they get for participating, for doing the ecosystems metrics for Farm to Facts. That helps us relate these ecosystems metrics, which are fairly simple things to show at a farm market, infographics to show at a farmer's market, to show customers the importance of the practices that your farmers are doing. And so each farmer can do their own little data collection of about 15 or 20 minutes and produce graphics that they can use to increase their market value, hopefully, or at least inform the public of the importance of their climate smart practices. So that's for farmers. That's about a 15, 20-minute process. And then for farmers market managers, each market manager will get $500 a year to do some of the things that was discussed in the demonstration video. Take about half an hour or so to do the market profile, which after doing it once is easy to duplicate and make minor modifications to. The consumer surveys, which again is something we can explain in greater detail in another time. Collecting anonymous sales data to show the impact of the market in terms of economic development. Completing the comment planner. Each market manager will get $50 a year to complete that data collection process. And that comment planner is, you might say, a deep science tool, a deep biophysical science tool that we can use to relate to the citizen science tool of Farm to Facts, ecosystem metrics, and bring the two together to be able to help the farmers and the markets explain more concisely all the impacts of their practices. And of course, the market manager will get $50 a year to do that market profile. It takes half an hour to an hour the first time, and small changes thereafter. Now, you can imagine how these are nested. You've got the farmer doing their data collection that supports the market manager who's doing an independent data collection. And then you've got the farmers market organization that can show impacts across a larger region. And then Rodale and the university partners involved who can show impacts across the entire Piedmont. So, that is sort of the vision that we're iterating towards. So again, we support farmers markets around the country. Farm to Facts has 3 teams associated with it: marketing and communications team, a research team, and our coding software team. We will have weekly office hours for folks. We have a YouTube channel. We will have a Google Learning page pretty soon to help support onboarding. We have email support. We can schedule calls. We can integrate our social media. And of course, we're doing software development. You can learn more about the team at the farmtofacts.org webpage. So some questions you may have. One, we are very intentional about being very inclusive. I'm from a very small town in New Mexico, from a farm about 7 miles from a small town, 600 people in the town. And I value rural life a great deal. And the whole team recognizes the importance of everybody, irrespective of where they're coming from, to understand the importance of their experience and to message that experience to other larger policy-making bodies. So we are very intentional about how we work with underserved populations and underserved areas, but everyone can participate. How do farmers markets participate in this data collection? Well, we're looking for 25 farmers markets, just to repeat what Christy said at the outset. How do farmers participate? Vegetable farmers who vend at the 25 markets will fill out the ecosystems tools. That's the farmers market part of this. What if a farmer is in more than one market? No problem. Software takes care of these questions. Sometimes we have automated approaches to helping people name their market profile so that there's no problem comparing across markets or in a market over time, and to make sure that the farmers associated with the market are clearly associated with that market, even if some of those farmers are also associated with a different market. What if a farmer's market has more than one season per year? No problem. Duplicate the market profile that allows you to compare over time the various impacts, benefits that your market is producing to the various folks you want to communicate that to. It helps the market manager and the market organization compare data across seasons. So hopefully you all have some questions. Here's where you can go for additional information. Our webinar today hopefully has summarized a lot of what you would find on these web pages. Please feel free to share it as you see fit. And I, on behalf of my colleagues here at the University of Wisconsin at Madison, we are delighted to be part of this project and to help you learn about all the various benefits your markets are providing and to reinforce those benefits and see your markets be more successful than they are today. All righty, thank you very much. I will stop
Thank
sharing.
you, Alfonso. So if you're interested in joining this project to be one of the 25 farmers markets that will receive the incentives, then you would go to the Rodale website that Alfonso was just sharing and apply through that portal. And then we'll connect you and get you started on doing on the project. Should you get selected, if we have more than 25 farmers markets sign up, we're going to pick based on having a variety of market sizes as well as underserved communities. We're trying to get as many underserved communities supported as possible through the project. So to get the incentives and be a part of this project, you go through the Rodale website. Once we have maxed that out, if you just are really interested in Farm to Facts, then you're welcome to go to the University of Wisconsin website and sign up there. But that is a paid service and not part of this project. Also, I wanted to take this opportunity to have Karen McSwain and Suzanne Girdner and Brent Wills introduce themselves, because they are our regional partners and the people that maybe you already know and will be working with really closely as well at the farmers markets and they'll be providing assistance. So Karen.
Hi, everybody. Karen McSwain. I work for Carolina Farm Stewardship Association, and folks on our team will be supporting this project largely with providing technical assistance to the farmers that are participating, but also providing some assistance to the farmers markets that are participating in any way that we can.
And Brent.
Hi, folks. I'm Brent Wills. I'm a program coordinator with the Virginia Association for Biological Farming. And a lot like Karen's organization, we're there to network with farmers and provide outreach and technical assistance, basically whatever's needed for farmers markets as they look to recruit, some of their finest farmers for the project going forward. So thank you.
And Suzanne.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Suzanne Girdner, the Director of Programs at Georgia Organics, and it's great to be here with you. We'll be serving in a similar capacity as Karen and Brent. We will be helping with recruitment for farmers markets and anything that pops up for the farmers that participate in the program. So look forward to working with you.
Great. And Alfonso, do you want to introduce your team while they're here?
Sure, absolutely. I'm very pleased. I'm very happy. Let's begin with Nathan. Nathan, would you please go ahead?
Yeah, hi, Nathan Larson, part of the Farm to Facts team at UW Madison of the Department of Planning and Landscape Architecture, and just really excited to be working with all of you on this really important project.
I'd like to say that Nathan, it will be one of your principal points of contact. He is the project manager for Farm to Facts. He's been with us now for 4 months. We lost our previous person to another job, Nadia Alber, who's a really wonderful person, but Nathan brings some great chops to the project, and we're very fortunate to have him. So I would like to actually ask Karen Armendariz. She is a doc student here at the University of Wisconsin and Madison. Do you want to say hello, Karen?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Armendariz. I'm a PhD student at University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I do a lot of work with climate change adaptation work.
Thank you very much, Garin. And then last, the Executive Director of Farm to Facts, the Director of the Kaufman Lab here at University of Wisconsin-Madison is Dr. Edna Ililedesma. Go ahead, Edna.
Hi, sorry. Trying to put the baby to sleep. My hair keeps getting crazier between shots. I have a very, very tiny baby. Hi, everyone. I'm Edna Ililedesma, and I'm the director of the lab. And I was also on the morning webinar. So we're excited to be working with you and answer any questions.
Yes, we are. Thank you very much, Christy, again. And thanks to the FM folks who are part of this. We're always happy to work with markets and market organizations. You have so much to offer the world, and our reason for being is to support you. It is.
So I think it's time for some questions. We have one question in the Q&A, and it says, how do you anticipate the data collected will be beneficial, and what will the next step be for farmers and markets?
That's a great question. So there's two answers that I'll give. The first answer is that it can be beneficial in reporting various benefits that your market has in your community. But instead of me judging those benefits, I think that it's important for market organizations and markets to think about the benefits they supply. They employ people, they support entrepreneurship, they support food security, they support civic society through programming, right? So when markets think about what they do in their day-to-day operations, there are so many things they do. What is it that you want to celebrate the most? What is it that you think will provide the most support from your community? What is it that you want the community to know about the market? Your perspective, folks, is what matters here. Our job is to support you in achieving the goals associated with your perspective. Maybe it's conflicts. I can remember Athens, Ohio. We worked with in the grant that established Farm to Facts 8, 9, 10 years ago now. That market was under siege. The neighboring businesses to the market said, oh, we don't want this farmers market. All the craftspeople here are making trouble. The city government said, oh, we got to listen to the local business. And so the farmers market collected a couple of years of data and took that data to the city and to the business owners and said, according to our customers, they spend more money at your business because they come to the market. So whenever you are armed with both a pleasant place people
So
enjoy,
it might be
then you can actually take that data and go forward with it. I apologize, Christy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I think it's my internet, but it's going to feel like I keep interrupting because I think that you're freezing.
Oh, no. So should I repeat something?
No, go ahead. I think everybody else, it was fine. For me, it was, I think.
Okay. So then the other part of that question, what's the next step? Well, that's a good question. So okay. So the next step is actually not particularly difficult. Enroll in the program through the Rodale webpage. As Christy said, there's an enrollment there. Once you're enrolled through there, you will get the onboarding process from Farm to Facts, and you'll be good to go. Now, you might say, well, what if I'm the 26th market? Well, I think we can have some latitude, okay? I don't think we have to say no to some people. There might be, that said, Farm to Facts is pretty inexpensive. It's a few $100s a year is what private markets pay us, who just contract for our service because they want to do data collection. They get the same level of service as everybody else. So it's not how many can we enroll, more than 25? Yeah, we can probably enroll a few more than 25. given the parameters of the project. And we can also incorporate others. We can figure that out. Does that make sense? As an answer to that question, does anybody want to tag on or have another question?
Are there any other questions?
So Carolyn, thank you for your question, Carolyn. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts? We are good to go. We want to be supportive of y'all. We just want to make sure we're there for you. That's part of it. We can travel, we can do some travel to support and do some more hands-on work as needed. Okay, well, Christy, let me turn the reins back over to you, and I appreciate your time, and folks who have joined this call, appreciate y'all's time. Anybody who listens, I hope you just navigate to us, send us an email. We can walk you through the Rodale process if needed. We're happy to be supportive in any way possible, in any way needed. Okay, happy summer. I'm going to mute myself. Well, Christy, if you want to type in there, yes, I can end it when the questions are over. So Christy just put a note to me. So very well. Again, thanks to the Farmers Market Organizational Partners, looking forward very much to meeting you in person. Those of you who like cold malted beverages, maybe I can take a few of my own homemade to the next meeting of the market organizations.
Alfonso, there is one more question in the Q&A.
Very good. Let's
it says,
cover.
how should we as market managers best promote this program to our farmers? What is the elevator pitch for the farmer?
That's a good question. I think there's a couple of different pitches you can try. And let me share with you the trick marketing professionals learn. It's called A/B testing. So let's say you've got 2 or 3 different pitches you want to try. One of them is participate and you'll make more money. Another one might be participate and you'll learn how to improve your production practices to make them more sustainable, more resilient in the face of these changes in this unpredictable weather that we're having. You know, another might be participate and you can help the market get more resources in order to achieve goals that we have. And here's some goals we have, A or B or C. And so you can try that out with a couple of, you can go to a couple of trusted vendors. Having been a vendor myself, I understand how this works. You know, the manager might come to me and say, well, what do you think about this? Oh, you know, this is what I think. So you say to them, you can say to the farmer, do you like this approach or this approach? Help me, you can ask the farmer for advice. Help me understand how to approach other farmers. We have this resource. Farmers can get paid. Help me understand how to approach farmers like you and share with them and see what appeals to them. Now, in a way, well, does that make sense, Aubrey? First of all, because I think that was your name and I appreciate the question. Can you, there we go. Yes, thanks. Very good. So the approach, right, as you can tell, is to be sensitive to the fact that everybody's busy. But with some amount of work that they're compensated for, everybody can benefit. Other questions, and please do not hesitate. I've been doing this I'm 61 years old. I've been working with markets for more than half of my life. and I want to be helpful. This team is a great team. The students who come and go through our lab are doing such wonderful, interesting things on behalf of local food systems. Other questions? Well, then going once, going twice. Again, I bid you all a happy summer. Oh, there's another. I see the little red flechita.
yep.
Is this program limited to municipal markets? No, we have worked with markets as few as 8 vendors, 6 vendors, covering 200-300 square miles, right, in a little village. And the farmers and consumers might come from 20 miles away because it's the closest place to get fresh produce that they don't grow themselves in their backyard. So yes, no, there's no limit to who, in my regard, in my thinking, you can be from a small town, or you can be in the middle of Charlotte, right, or in the middle of any other big city in the Piedmont, or elsewhere for that matter. Another question. So no, yeah, we're not limited. So, and by municipal, Carolyn, the other thing you might mean is that is how it's governed, because some markets are city run, some markets are nonprofit run, some are farmer run, some are on military bases, some are, so there's a variety of models. And when you do your vendor profile, you'll actually say what kind of market you are, because that can make a difference. And so it doesn't matter to us. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it can be a farmer run market. It can be any kind of market. And it can have only food, like the Dane County Farmers Market, 280 vendors, all from the state of Wisconsin by state law. Only food is sold. Or it can crafts, and you can collect data from your crafts people. Of course, this is, right, a production-oriented grant, but the farmers, the F2F platform comprehends a whole host of economic activities that happen in your market.
And I think I'm back. Sorry about that. And so because the grant does support about 25 farmers markets, we do anticipate that there will be more interest than what we can support on this grant. And so, like we said previously, if you are really interested in Farm to Facts and we are not able to select you to be on the grant, then you can still join Farm to Facts separately, but that will be paid because if you're part of the grant, we'll be paying you. So to become on the list and for us to select a farmer's market for the grant, you do have to go through the Rodale website application form, just to kind of make sure that we all understand how that works.
Let's repeat that. Go to the Rodale website, folks. Sign up.
Yeah, because if you go through you are 100% guaranteed. We may not catch you as somebody who's interested in participating in this project if you go through the University of Wisconsin website for this. But again, if you are not selected for whatever reason, you are always welcome to join anyway through the University of Wisconsin, and you won't be part of this project, but you'll be able to definitely benefit from being from this project happening in your region.
Yeah, furthermore, and I think this is worth maybe commenting on, while you may not be part of this project particular, you will, by joining, you will not only have the benefits of of Farm to Facts for your market, but we can bring data from your particular market organization or market into relationship with this, and so show USDA unintended positive benefits of extra data that they didn't even pay for. Now, I know that doesn't sound like it may be a good thing, but oh my goodness, the more data we can show, the more viable, the more valid our conclusions, and the better our tests can be, a variety of things. So I would encourage folks to join up, even if you're not even in the Piedmont, because comparing across that could be interesting. There's a lot of different things that markets can learn no matter where they are. Now, maybe I could have said that a little differently, but I am all in for the project, but I'm also all in for everything that markets are doing around the country and in North America. We work in Canada as well in support of climate smart agriculture.
Are there any other questions? All right, well, we are at the end. This was perfect timing. So if I'd like to thank everybody that's on the panel. Thank you, Alfonso, for teaching us more about Farm to Facts and sharing all the information you did with us. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, and if it's something I can't answer, I will definitely touch base with the Farm to Facts team and get you in touch with them. And again, if you're interested in applying for this program, you go through the Rodale Southern Piedmont Climate-Smart webpage to apply as for your farmers market. Thanks, everybody.